The second she got close, a ringside fan grabbed her and started running his hands over her like he'd never seen a wrestler up close before. Thankfully, her tag partner wasn't having it and yanked her right out of his grip.
I have never seen somebody get pulled in and them actually touching their bro. Oh, what's up? Oh, what's up? What up, it's Samaj back in another video. Today we're about to be reacting to a video by Wrestle Mafia. The video gonna be on WWE fans who went too far. I mean, yeah, there's a lot of WWE fans that went too far. The most famous one for me was two famous ones for me that I got on the brain right now was when Seth Rollins got attacked and Randy Orton got attacked. Like, that nigga just went in literally uppercut. First of all, that's a pussy ass thing to do. Like, you couldn't wait till the nigga turned around, but I mean, well, he would have got his ass beat because you know Randy Orton tall as fuck. But hitting somebody in the balls is just a female thing to do, bro. I'm sorry, it is. Like, what type of nigga hit somebody in the balls? And the one with Seth Rollins was just weird. I don't know if that guy was mental or something, because he just went after him and out of nowhere. That attack was well over 10 years ago now, which is crazy. But let's get into the video. Don't forget to leave a like and subscribe if you've been enjoying wrestling videos. Let's get it.
From attacking wrestlers on live TV to stalking and inappropriately touching them, these are WWE fans who went too far, starting with the night that gave Bret Hart Montreal flashbacks.
Oh, no.
The Hall of Fame is supposed to be a night of celebration, but somebody didn't get that memo. While Bret Hart was mid-speech, a random guy from the crowd ran up and tackled him. Security and a few wrestlers swarmed in almost instantly and dragged the attacker away. The whole thing was over in under a minute, but it was enough to remind everyone that even a feel-good tribute show isn't completely safe from chaos. The attacker had a prior criminal record, including arrests for stalking an MMA fighter and violating protective orders.
Bro, this guy looks like the type of person that attacks somebody. He just bald, white, and just I'm sorry. I mean, I know there's been other colored attackers, but he just looks like the type of person that'll just do that. What are you even attacking Bret for?
Was jailed for 4 days before being released on a $1,500 bond. Randy Orton has had his fair share of weird fan interactions. During a house show in South Africa, Randy was doing his signature pose on the turnbuckle when a fan climbed into the ring and delivered a very unwelcome low blow to the Viper. Orton spun around looking for blood, but security beat him to the punch. He still got a kick in that left the guy with a black eye, which was well-deserved if you ask me. The fan had been training to be a wrestler since age 16 and continued pursuing wrestling in South Africa until a 2018 shoulder injury ended his career.
Damn! That is karma at its finest. Jeez. You're trying to get your name out there by attacking somebody from behind, and then instantly this ends up happening to you and your career's ended. Yeah. This is some well-deserved karma right here. I didn't even know this information. I thought this dude just went on to just become a wrestler over there. I mean, fortunately, I guess, karma works his way around, but then I don't know how he was working his way around a circus. They probably just need wrestlers out there, and you just never know. They'll just be hiring anybody. He probably just going around saying, "Oh, I'm the one that attacked Randy Orton." Well, or he probably didn't say that, because that's still kind of disgraceful. But some of these promotions are just weird. But that's some good ass karma right there.
But while Randy's fan interaction was unpleasant, this next incident was rather hilarious. Back in 2015, Dean Ambrose and Roman Reigns were stuck in a brutal 3-on-1 fight against the Wyatt family, and the numbers just weren't adding up. That's when one very dedicated fan decided enough was enough. He hopped the barricade wearing his own homemade gear, ready to even the odds like he'd been training for this exact moment his whole life. For about 3 glorious seconds, it looked like he might actually help. Then security showed up and reminded him that cosplay doesn't come with a WWE contract. The fan was hauled out of the building and later hit with 10 days in jail, which feels like a steep price. Funny enough, this wasn't even the first time a fake Shield member—
I mean, I'm sorry, that wasn't even really a really harmful thing. I mean, I know you're not supposed to be in a ring, but 10 days in jail? Damn. Man, they had to do him like that. One day would have did it. But damn, I remember this moment because Bray Wyatt actually made fun of that and said, "That's who you." He gave attention to it, which made it even funnier, bro. He was harmless. This interaction was harmless. I like it.
member showed up uninvited, but this one definitely had the most legal consequences. Most fans dream about jumping in the ring to save their favorite wrestlers. This guy actually tried it and learned the hard way that WWE security doesn't care how good your costume is. Speaking of guys who got way too comfortable around the Shield, in 2021, a fan named Eliza Spencer ran in during a match and tackled Seth Rollins to the ground in front of a stunned crowd. Spencer later claimed that he met Rollins at a meet and greet in 2019 and was later scammed by someone on WhatsApp impersonating Rollins, sending about $3,000 in gift cards that were never properly reimbursed. He said wasn't even trying to hurt Rollins, he was trying to help his opponent win. Rollins initially said in interviews that Spencer should be—
Wait, what? So you end up blaming Seth Rollins for all of that? And you want to help his opponent win? Like, if you know in your mind that this person was scammed you and wasn't Seth Rollins, like, that's some type of shit I'll probably believe if I was like a kid or something, like 2010 or something, you know, when those little Facebook posts come in and they used to make fake Facebooks of like stars and WWE Superstars. I used to think that shit's real. I was a kid. And I'm pretty sure a lot of kids be like, with a wondering imagination, be thinking that's real. But you actually thought this was real. And I mean, real. Well, you actually thought this was fake when you learned about it, and then you still blame Seth Rollins for it. That does have any knowledge about this.
Be banned for life, but later learned Spencer had mental health struggles and chose not to press charges. And it's not just Seth Rollins who attracts overly enthusiastic fans. At a non-televised show, Bray Wyatt and Roman Reigns were the main event, and one fan in the crowd happened to be holding a replica Money in the Bank briefcase. The fan threw the briefcase, and it nailed Reigns right in the head. Security tracked the guy down fast, and the same fans who talked him into it immediately turned around and started chanting for him to get tossed out. Kalisto himself found out the hard way that fans don't always show their support nicely. During a tag match—
See, this is why you shouldn't be getting egged on by like people in the crowd. I know people hated Reigns back in these days, but like you shouldn't even egg yourself on to do that, because that's literally like assault with some type of weapon.
On 205 Live, he ended up on the floor after a disqualification finish. And that's when some genius in the crowd decided to chuck a water bottle at his head. It actually cut his lip open, which is a wild overreaction for a guy who was just doing his job. Security tracked the bottle thrower down and got him out of the building, but Kalisto walked away with a souvenir he definitely didn't ask for.
That's good. At least they got him.
But while these fans were throwing foreign objects, this next fan got a little too handsy. Sasha Banks and Becky Lynch's rivalry took them to Clash of Champions. Their match spilled into the crowd, and the two women fought their way back toward the ring with zero officiating in sight. As Becky threw Sasha over the barricade, a fan in the front row reached out and tried to touch her backside. The internet exploded over it. Rumors swirled about a lifetime ban, and Banks said online she'd consider legal action. In the end, nothing ever got confirmed publicly, but the boss was ready to throw hands. But if you thought
that's just weird, bro, just keep your hands off of female wrestlers. Keep your hands off of men wrestlers also too. If they come, you know, give you a hug or something, you know, initiate it, then go ahead. But like when they're in a match, quit touching them. Like, I mean, I know y'all starstruck or whatever, like, but just like do not touch them, especially inappropriately too. Like, man, I would have just charged. I would have put charges on his ass.
That was bad. This next fan took shamelessness to whole another level. In 2019, at AAA's Conquista Total event in Cancun, Scarlett Bordeaux was competing in a 6-woman match when she went for a move near the barricade. The second she got close, a ringside fan grabbed her and started running his hands over her like he'd never seen a wrestler up close before. Thankfully, her tag partner wasn't having it and yanked her right out of his grip. And while modern wrestling fans can be weird, the Attitude Era had its own breed.
I'm not gonna lie, I have never seen this type of touching before, bro. Like, I've seen, like, you know, examples of like what happened, you know, when people touch somebody and like try to instantly slap you know, a female wrestler's ass or something. I have never seen somebody get pulled in and them actually touching their bro, yeah. If I was a wrestler or like one of the security guards, I would want to beat that dude's ass, bro. Cause like he's not on like no starstruck stuff. He's not on anything else but being a pervert. Like, what the fuck?
Of unhinged fans. Back in The Undertaker's Lord of Darkness days in the mid-90s, Paul Bearer had just betrayed the dead man, and one fan apparently took that storyline a little too personally. As Bearer walked toward the ring, a woman hopped the guardrail and went straight for him, trying to take him down herself. Security was nowhere to be found fast enough, so a cameraman actually had to step in and hold her off until help arrived. The whole thing lasted maybe 15 seconds, but Bearer played it cool afterward like nothing happened. The story doesn't end there, though.
That's
According to The
professional
Undertaker
right
himself,
there.
that same woman somehow tracked down his hotel later that night and showed up knocking on his door. Security had to remove her from the property, too. Wrestling storylines are
Whoa.
supposed to stay in the ring, but apparently nobody told her that. But the dead man wasn't the only wrestler who had to deal with crazy fans during the Attitude.
Shit, that's scary as hell. Like, wrestlers already got to deal with like enough like stress on the road, especially just like, being a wrestler themselves. But like having to deal with like a stalker in any type of situation, whether you're a dude or a lady, is the most annoying thing to probably like deal with, because you don't know who it is. You're stressed out 24/7. These people are just watching you, stalking your pages, and you have to have that, like, you can't be a regular person that just could just disappear or something. You have to stay in the limelight, especially if you want to make money and live your dream. But these people are weird as hell, essentially. And I mean, I know they got to do everything they got to do to get these people, but I feel like law enforcement really has to try harder with these stalking cases.
Era. A few days before facing Stone Cold at WrestleMania 14, Shawn Michaels and his DX buddies did a little public promo to hype the show. It was supposed to be a quick little speech to create buzz and keep things hot on the road to WrestleMania, except someone in the crowd had other plans. Out of nowhere, a fan threw an actual battery and beamed Michaels right in the head. HBK stopped mid-sentence, clearly rattled, and just walked out of the promo altogether. Vince McMahon was reportedly furious about it afterward, not because of the battery itself, but because Michaels left the audience hanging. Apparently in Vince's world, getting struck by a flying piece of hardware still doesn't excuse you from finishing the show. Tough crowd, tougher boss. Speaking of objects flying through the air, Triple H...
Fuck that. I would have did the same thing. Like, you strike me in the head with a battery, like, shit, I'll walk away. I'll walk away too, because, like, you don't have enough respect for a wrestler. I mean, well, back then it was really different. Like, people really didn't like really take like stuff. Well, people really took stuff really serious back then, because kayfabe wasn't really dead back then.
And Stone Cold Steve Austin once survived an entire 3 stages of hell match just to get attacked by a beverage. Both men were sprawled out on the mat, completely drained after beating the life out of each other, when a fan in the crowd decided that was the perfect moment to throw a beer can. It hit Austin directly in the head, and his reaction said it all. That thing actually hurt. Triple H rolled over just to check if he was okay. Security never found the guy since he was too far back, so somewhere out there is a man who got away with assaulting the Texas Rattlesnake with a Bud Light. And then there's the time a fan almost ended Eddie Guerrero's career mid-match. During the legendary ladder match between Eddie and Rob Van Dam in 2002, both men had already beaten the heck out of each other trying to reach the title hanging above the ring. Eddie was climbing back up near the top when a fan hopped the barrier, ran in, and shoved the ladder right out from under him. Eddie actually thought it was a wrestler doing a run-in at first, which honestly says a lot about how often that used to happen. Thankfully, he landed on his feet like a cat instead of breaking his neck, and the intruder was hauled out almost immediately.
He got a good punch in,
ended up winning the match, but that fan deserves a permanent spot on the list of worst time decisions in wrestling history. And speaking of RVD, let's go back to one of the most rabid wrestling crowds of all time at ECW One Night Stand.
Oh, shit.
When most fans think of this show, they think about the hostile reaction to John Cena and the ECW fans throwing his shirt back at him. However, Cena wasn't the only wrestler who got heat from the fans that night. Randy Orton walked into a building that hated him on sight, which he clearly enjoyed. Then a random kid in the crowd reached out and punched him right in the arm. Orton turned around and gave the kid the full death stare, while the kid just stood there chewing his gum like nothing happened. Somehow he never got tossed, but up next, things take a much...
I don't think, like, security would want to go in that type of crowd. Though that crowd was just ruthless as hell, bro. They were just wild, and I wouldn't want to go out there as a security. You probably got another fight started with like another person out there, and they probably would have just tried to tag team and beat up you. You were in the crowd. You don't know who's gonna be hitting you. Like, you probably would have got stomped in that crowd.
Darker turn. In 2020, Sonya Deville wasn't dealing with some guy jumping a barricade. She was dealing with an actual stalker breaking into her home. A man named Philip Thomas had been sending her disturbing messages on Instagram for years, the kind that get buried in your request folder and never seen. He drove from South Carolina to her house in Florida, cut a hole in her patio screen, and waited there for hours before breaking in through a sliding door in the middle of the night. Deville's alarm went off, and she came face to face with him in her own living room. She and Mandy Rose, who was staying over, managed to escape and call 911. When police showed up, Thomas had a knife, zip ties, duct tape, and mace on him. He told officers he planned to pepper spray her because he was scared of her MMA background, and somehow also claimed he knew her personally, which was completely untrue. He ended up pleading guilty and was sentenced to 15 years in prison.
Man, that's not even enough. That's not enough, because what if something happened that night? What if something fucking really happened that night, bro? Like literally, he had zip ties and a knife, bro. You know what? He could have probably killed her. He said that only for his defense. I'm pretty sure a lawyer advised him to do that, or he's gonna be locked up for a longer time. But nigga, bro, this is like one of the scariest like ones in like history, bro. Because like as soon as somebody like get like a stalking situation pops up in WWE, it makes me think about this whole situation with Sonya Deville. I'm glad she's good, and this guy deserves at least more than 15 years, bro. Because he's gonna be back on the damn street in 15 years, probably trying to stalk somebody else. They can put him on probation or whatever they do, but like serial stalker like that actually traveled and break into somebody's house will kind of reoffend again to me.
Wasn't a wild ring moment, it was genuinely terrifying, and a reminder that not every fan story ends with a funny security takedown. Unfortunately, Sonya Deville isn't the only one with a story like this. In 2025, Liv Morgan found out a man had gotten through her gated community and spent 2 hours ringing her doorbell, checking under doormats for spare keys, and circling her property while she was away for work. He eventually left a strange 2-page note suggesting he believed they were already in some kind of relationship. Morgan reported it to WWE, who immediately looped in the FBI rather than treating it as a normal fan encounter. The man, identified as Sean Chan, was arrested days later when he showed up at the WWE Performance Center and security recognized him on site. Morgan said she wasn't scared looking back on it, but it's still unsettling how close it got before anyone stepped in. But after all that heaviness, here's a story that's more chaotic.
And I think he didn't even get no time for that, bro. Is what actually kind of pisses me off, bro. Uh, See, nowadays it's really scary to be a female wrestler in this day and age because people really blur the lines and really get obsessed. Even though kayfabe's really dead right now, people really do not get like this is like a character they put on. When they go home, they are a regular person. They are like their government name. You may still call them, Liv Morgan or whatever the name they probably go by, but essentially these are regular people, and like it's really creepy and really just like headache inducing that like people actually get so obsessed with a person to the point they actually go off and do this. Ugh.
Than scary. During CM Punk's match against Vince McMahon on Raw, Ryback and John Cena got involved trying to save Vince, and Punk ended up sprinting into the crowd to escape. Standing shoulder to shoulder with fans, a little too close for comfort apparently, Punk suddenly punched one of them right in the face. Except slow-motion replays later showed that the actual fan who smacked him on the back of the head was someone completely different, standing a few feet away. So Punk straight up clocked an innocent guy, while the real instigator walked off unharmed. Wrong place, wrong time, and an extremely unlucky face. But while this interaction was rather lighthearted, recently Punk had to intervene after a fan got too close to Bayley while the wrestlers were on the road. And even stars like Rhea Ripley and Asuka have openly talked about their encounters with weird fans at airports and house shows. So if you're a wrestling fan,
Yeah, especially with this shit, a lot of stuff be going on around like airports with like these losers trying to get you to sign they Funko Pops or whatever type of merch they got so they could sell it on eBay. They are relentless with this type of crap, bro, and they literally will try to get you to keep signing this every time. And since they know that you're gonna be at this airport, I don't know how they know, because they probably got discords. They probably got discords and be sitting in there and probably like know, like it probably hack people and just know when a flight is coming. I wouldn't put it across them. If they go get their merch off, they go do the extra length steps. But like I said, most one on this list that I'll always say is scary is the Sonya Deville one and the Liv Morgan one, because that came to being like a really big ass case, and him only getting 15 years, like I really wish they would have considered giving him more. But you know how the laws are, and you know how what be going on with people nowadays. But man, this is scary because people could essentially get really obsessed with you, and fans are weird as hell sometimes. But hey, I wish everything can go swell in the future with all these wrestlers, especially the women wrestlers, because we gotta always protect them. But don't forget to leave a like and subscribe, and don't forget to go take a look at the original video in the description. And we are on the road to 800. I'll catch you guys in the next video.
He was the best guy around.
What about the people he murdered?
What murder?